Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at AT&T. We're going to look at the mistakes they've made over the last decade. And does that create a buying opportunity today? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification button, and like button. But first, let's take a look at a chart of AT&T and what the stock has done over the last decade. This chart shows AT&T and Verizon over the last decade since January 1st, 2011. The dark blue line is AT&T stock. So if you would have bought in 2011 and held on today, it's actually trading lower today than it was in 2011. You would have lost minus 1.29% on capital appreciation. Verizon, on the other hand, if you would have bought Verizon, it would have been a better choice in 2011. The stock has risen 60%. So AT&T is definitely an out-of-favor stock at Wall Street. They have a huge debt load of $150 billion that has made it unfavorable. Wall Street probably at one point thinks AT&T will need to cut their dividend, and that is probably the only reason to buy the stock today is its dividend, and maybe a few other factors that we'll go over, but its dividend. AT&T is a dividend aristocrat. It pays $2.08 a share every year, or 7%, over 7% yield. So I like dividend-paying stocks. I'm attracted to them. Capital appreciation is also important. When I buy a stock, I'm looking for both dividend growers and capital appreciation. AT&T has failed on capital appreciation over the last decade. It has made 4 mistakes that we're going to look at. This is a letter from Elliott Management they sent to the AT&T's board of directors. Elliott Management is a hedge fund. They took a position, so they took a $3.2 billion position in AT&T in 2019, and they noted that AT&T has the potential to reach $60 a share value by the end of 2021. That's probably not going to happen. AT&T has been an unfavored in Wall Street, and their stock price is lower today than it was in 2019. Elliott Management highlights some of AT&T's operational blunders. The first was their attempt to purchase in T-Mobile in 2011. They failed to purchase T-Mobile. The SEC would not allow it, and they had to pay T-Mobile a breakup fee and give them premium access to their network. So AT&T just financed their competitor, DirecTV. So in 2014, AT&T purchased DirecTV for $67 billion, which led to a large increase in long-term debt on their balance sheet. And also in 2016, AT&T purchased Time Warner for $109 billion, which also led to an increase of long-term debt. Today, their long-term debt on their balance sheet is over $150 billion. Elliott Management also highlights the AT&T opportunity to talk about their collection of leading franchises, which, of course, is their wireless cell phone business, entertainment, hardwire services to your home for internet, and Warner Media, who is a leader in TV and film production. So through Warner Media, Time Warner Media, subscriptions to HBO Max can increase quite a bit if they play that card right, which will lead to higher revenues and higher income, which will drive the share price higher also. So AT&T, they highlight AT&T is deeply undervalued at the time of this letter. They're more undervalued today. So if we look at their historical PE ratio, it's 12.4. Today it's trading at 9.9. Or at the time of this letter it was at 9.9. Today it's even lower than that. It's closer to 9. So if AT&T turns it around and they trade closer to their historical PE ratio of 12.4, that's going to put the stock price above $45 a share. So I don't think that's going to happen in the next year or two, but over the long term, AT&T can drive shareholder value and increase their stock price. Elliott Management goes on in the letter and talks about activating the AT&T plan, where really they just highlight things to the board of directors that AT&T needs to act on and execute to drive shareholder value. Elliott Management spells a lot of details out in this letter, but since the time of this letter in the fall of 2020, Elliott Management sold their position. They sold their $3.2 billion position in AT&T and probably took a loss on it quite a bit. But this year they repurchased the company. They invested another $100 million into the company, so they still have money at stake with AT&T. AT&T is a cash flow generating machine, and 2020 consolidated guidance, they were anticipating $28 billion a year in free cash flow, and that's in line with AT&T's past performance, and that's after they pay all their bills. So they're going to have $28 billion left over after they pay for capex or capital investment. So historically, they've spent about almost $20 billion a year in capital expenditures. So after that, they're going to have $28 billion left to spend money on, and so $15 billion of that is going to go for dividends, their existing dividends of $2.08 a share. That leaves about $13 billion left to either pay off long-term debt or buy shares back of the company. So that may be a combination of both, but they definitely make a lot of money. They have a lot of free cash flow, and that's probably one of the best things AT&T has going for them, and all their franchises and all their businesses. They continue to generate a lot of free cash. So if we look at the downside to AT&T, if for some reason they decide to cut their dividend, what's going to happen? The stock price is going to fall. So I'm going to use a comparison. This is Kraft Heinz Company when they merged together, and Kraft Heinz became one unit. So their stock was trading at almost $100 a share. They had a lot of debt problems also and a lot of operational issues. No different than AT&T. Then in 2019, Kraft Heinz was a high-paying dividend stock. It paid a high dividend also. In 2019, February 2019, here's what happened. They slashed their dividend. So when they slashed their dividend, their stock fell from $47 a share to below $32 or below $33 a share. So if AT&T for some reason decided or had to slash their dividends, we can expect a further decline in the stock price. But it doesn't look that way. It looks like AT&T is going to continue to be a dividend aristocrat and pay their dividends. It's really the only best thing they have going for shareholders is to continue paying their dividend. AT&T also has a large cash flow that they generate every year. I would expect that their HBO Max is going to continue to attract subscribers and drive revenue growth. So I think they're going to catch on to the streaming, compete with Netflix and Disney and everybody else that streams videos and movies. AT&T is going to find a lot of growth in that, and also growth in their existing services. So I'm a buyer. I bought AT&T shares late December, early January, and I'm going to continue to buy as long as it's below $30 a share. I like the dividend yield. I don't think that's going to change any over the next few years. I also think they're just going to continue to drive shareholder value by paying down debt and executing the right decisions. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also notifications.